Hi, Milers. This is Beverly of Miles and Coffee. Thank you for joining me on Mental Health Monday. And this will not be a long video at all. It's going to be a little short. As a matter of fact, the video that I had scheduled originally for today, I decided we'll do that one another time because I wanted to talk about the pantry and being prepared for flu season, a second wave of COVID. As a matter of fact, as I mentioned, it's a wonderful sunny day. I've noticed the neighbor next door is a doctor and he no longer wears a mask. Well, I do, because the pandemic is still here. And even though our state is open where I'm located in Mexico, I do understand that some people can be asymptomatic and still be contagious. So that's something to keep in mind. But I wanted to talk to you and give you an update. This wonderful resource, Emergency Food Storage and Survival Handbook, I'll leave a link below. We talked about this before when I showed you a couple of items that I like to have in my pantry. That was not in any way representative of everything, but just to give an idea of basic things, throwing diet and specialty items out the window in case of an emergency. That's what we're talking about. And in case it gets to the point where we're not able to go out as often as we would like, just to have things on hand for convenience. Well, I finally decided it was time to get as organized as possible so that I can be real with what I need to stock up more on. And this was very eye-opening. If you remember, when I gave this book away, I talked about in the middle of the book is an inventory planning. Now I've been writing in it, so I think I took a picture of one page so that you can see an example of what to look at your stock of medicines, flu, aspirins, and things like that to see how much you would need for one person. That's my particular case. For 3 months, or for a family for 3 months, or how much would you need for a family for 6 months, depending on how far you want to stock. This was very eye-opening. It starts off, for example, with water, knowing that you need a gallon of water per person per day. And when I looked at what I have, I would be short for 3 months. Remember the apartment where I am now, thank goodness, I was able to get in right before school shut down, like literally a week before. So I've been kind of stocking my pantry now. I've been in this location now for about 5 months in this new apartment. Where I was before was not adequate for even putting weeks of groceries on the shelf, so I had to be very creative. But here, I thought, okay, let's start. And I remember going to Walmart and Sam's as often as possible, thinking what would I need and keeping a list. But when I do inventory, it was very shocking to me to find that there are some holes so that I could have things and be as comfortable as possible. So these are things to keep in mind. It even reminds you about blankets and coats and things like that. Okay. When I looked, there's some things obviously I need for gardening, but this is Mental Health Monday. I realized I barely have a supply of 3 months of coffee, and that's in the ground bags of convenience where you just put it in your coffee maker every day. The ground coffee, your favorite type. 3 months. And I believe, like, if something happened and the electricity and I couldn't use my coffee pot, well, I could still boil water. I have a little camp stove, and I have instant coffee as well. Barely, just 3 months. And I thought, that's not going to cut it. Psychologically, I'd like to have a little bit more than that, right? That's an example of what I'm talking about. Do you have cans of beans that would be convenient versus even the bags of beans that you would have to really soak overnight and then boil or whatever. So, one or the other. Do you have enough cans of, for me, being an individual, I know that I'm not going to eat tuna every day or every week in a emergency situation. I could swap that out for tuna 1 week, canned chicken the next week, maybe beef jerky the following week, okay? But little things like that. And then I realized, okay, I do have some fruits, but some of my favorite fruits are missing. Little things like that become big things in an emergency when you're already stressed and you're trying to relax and calm down. Not to keep this video long, I do want to read something that I thought was very interesting. And this is the last page facing the inventory planning chart by this author, Peggy Layton, just to show you. Okay, replenishing your store. That's what this mental health is about. Making sure that as you use things, you're putting it back and being honest with how much you have to provide for you and your family. She says, families and individuals for whom food storage has become a way of life wisely follow this motto: use it or lose it. Okay, so when you're taking inventory, you know what came in first, you use that first, and as you replenish, you want to put that in the back so that you can use the older stuff first. She said, if you wish to maintain a 1-year supply of food, for example, plan to rotate every food item so it's used up and replenished within 1 or 2 to 3 years. Wow, I've only been here going on 6 months, so all of my food is still fresh, but I still label it on the top with a marker, and I just know that henceforth putting things in the back as I buy and replenish. She says, now although some items such as dehydrated products may be kept for a long period of time, they too are prone to deterioration if kept more than 5 to 7 years. It's best to rotate them well within that time period. And when rotating food, use the oldest dated food first. Okay, so little things to keep in mind. She said, prepared at last. Once you are prepared and once your home store is stocked, you can rest easy knowing that you're prepared not only for today, but for the months ahead. And that is what struck me. I highlighted that because I thought I'm not prepared for coffee. That would be a mental health thing for me, just to know that I'm well stocked and I could sit down, plan whatever I need to do, write in my journal, knowing that I have plenty of coffee. I've got plenty of tea boxes, I guess enough for 3 months. So in other words, this Mental Health Monday is just a reminder to be prepared as much as you can so that we can be prepared and not scared. And to maybe, if you don't even use this book, just get a notebook and every category from dried foods to freeze-dried foods to canned goods to fruits and vegetables to fun foods, keeping item stock inventory so that you know what to replenish. I now know where my holds are, and I'm going to write a list based on that. I don't need to buy what I've already been buying. I need to look at things that I want to add to my pantry. Okay, this has been Beverly. Thank you for joining me on Mental Health Monday. Remember, take it one day at a time and keep it simple. And don't forget to join me for Wellness Wednesday. Bye for now.